After a number of setbacks, today crews placed the final segment on the Lesner Bridge. Now we are just weeks away from completion and the bridge reopening to 4 lanes. 13 News Now reporter Adriana de Alba joins us from the Chicks Beach area with an update.
This is a major accomplishment for the city of Virginia Beach, but drivers won't be able to access that bridge until the last week of August. Today, we asked the project manager what's left before drivers can finally use it.
It's 4 years in the making.
So it's a major milestone for everybody. We're pretty excited. It's like putting a keyway in.
Today, crews are finishing up the last major part of the construction on the Lesner Bridge in Virginia Beach.
It's exciting for everybody. The guys building the bridge, the guys who designed the bridge, the guys who managed the construction. There was a lot of money, a lot of planning that went into this project, and now we're seeing it come to fruition.
All that's left now are a few final touches.
We still got to put the tendons in, the last span. Behind us here, we're doing a disassembly of the temporary gantry. We've still got railing to put up on the bridge. We got lights to put up on the bridge.
The estimated $119 million project was originally scheduled to be completed last June, but project manager Chris Witovitz says a few challenges set them back an entire year.
There was a lot of little things that contributed to the delay. Weather was one of them. A lot of other little issues. We had a problem with a drilled shaft that we had to get right, and that set us back a little bit. So really isn't one thing I could point to. It's just a series of things that kind of added up.
Once complete, the Lesner Bridge replacement will handle 6 lanes of traffic, 2 lanes going each way, with 1 shoulder lane on each side. Each side will also have a 10-foot wide path for pedestrians and cyclists. Despite the delays, Witovitz says,
we would rather build a bridge late and right than on time and wrong.
In Virginia Beach, Adriana de Alba, 13 News Now.